What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the absolute stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a huge reminder, we got plenty of articles going up over on detonated.com, expanding on all the covers you're already seeing here on this channel, and also plenty of tweets over on Detonated's Twitter. Detonated is, of course, a new outlet I founded to go ahead and cover Call of Duty and possibly even other games at some point in the future. But with that being said, earlier today I did post a separate video talking about our first ever gameplay preview of Modern Warfare 3. Lots of gameplay snippets, images, and other details did drop over on Twitter over the last couple of days. I recapped all of that in my video from earlier this morning. But like I said in that video, it's hype season, baby. Lots of brand new details are going to be dropping about the next Call of Duty, probably from now until launch, honestly. So at some point, I think it was last week, the alpha for MW3 was found. The download for it was ripped through, and the usual suspects that post early COD details have been posting quite a bit over on Twitter. But following all the info that has dropped, Call of Duty has finally broke their silence on whatever the new installment is that's apparently coming out in November, and they went ahead and posted the following tweet today. Let's get this out the way. Should Modern Warfare 2 operators, weapons, and bundles carry forward into Call of Duty 2023? They put a poll out with two options. The first option is yes. The second option is yes, when is the reveal? So this is awesome confirmation and almost our first official bit of info for Modern Warfare 3, or whatever the new COD is called, which is coming out this fall. Of course, plenty of details were shared by Insider Gaming a couple of months ago that apparently the game is called Modern Warfare 3, was originally paid DLC for MW2, which has now become its own full-fledged Call of Duty title, and Sledgehammer plans to release this game on November the 10th. Now, with this confirmation, I do have a feeling that we're going to end up getting a logo reveal likely in the next couple of days. Of course, Insider Gaming also claimed that a live reveal event inside of Warzone was going to be happening at some point in August, but now it looks like rumors are changing a little bit to where it's not going to be an event that happens August 1st, like previously claimed, but probably an event that happens closer to Season 5 Reloaded, which will likely be the end of August or early September. Might be a lot sooner than that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a logo reveal for the game and little bits of information here and there from the studios, and then we end up getting a full-fledged live reveal event inside of Warzone, followed by maybe a COD Next Part 2, where a bunch of creators fly out, play the game early, stream the gameplay live on everybody's channels, and then we end up going from there with even more announcements leading up to a possible campaign early access period, some type of multiplayer beta, and whatever else right before the release of the game in November. But I think what's cool about the tweet that went out earlier from Call of Duty is that Sledgehammer also retweeted it, which is essentially our first official confirmation that Sledgehammer is indeed leading this project. Their last project was, of course, Vanguard. Before that was World War II 2017, and even before that was Advanced Warfare. But their first actual COD they quote-unquote developed or co-developed was the original Modern Warfare 3 in 2011 with a Broken Infinity Ward studio. So it's kind of poetic to see them do another Modern Warfare 3 here this fall, or whatever the game is called. It is very likely a Modern Warfare release, as previously reported, but I'm really curious to see how Sledgehammer approaches this COD, kind of building more trust back with the community and kind of getting back on track to the love everybody had for Sledgehammer back during the early days of World War II, or even the controversial parts of Advanced Warfare. Sledgehammer's always been a studio that delivered a lot of innovation and delivered things that other studios hadn't thought of yet, or things that other studios hadn't done quite as well. I'm curious to see how they end up handling this game. Now, considering this is the first time that this has ever happened, I mean, Warzone technically did this to an extent where they allowed you to bring in all your content from Modern Warfare 19, Cold War Vanguard into Warzone 1 BR maps, and we knew that with the reset that Warzone 2 provided, we would eventually be able to bring in, MW2, MW3, and probably Black Ops 2024 weapons into Warzone 2 maps. But to see this in a main Call of Duty for multiplayer, this is exciting. I mean, I wonder if they were originally planning on announcing this a lot earlier, but maybe, like I said, since COD 2023 was apparently just going to be DLC from MW2, they were like, all right, we just didn't know we were going to end up doing this, but they figured, hey, let's keep the momentum going for MW2. Let's kind of win back people's trust for those that have lost faith in such a popular game or a popular name like Modern Warfare. Let's announce something that they probably should have done a long time ago, being able to transfer over all your cosmetics so that it doesn't feel like people out there are going to be buying bundles and then every 3+ years you get a big reset where nothing out there is usable. So this could be a good answer to the criticism they just got for shutting down Warzone Caldera or announcing their plan to do that this September. And I think when you look at other games like Overwatch, Counter-Strike, other titles that have figured out ways to transfer all your paid cosmetics from one major release to the sequel, I think it's time for COD to do it as well. And thank God they're finally going to be attempting this. It just has me thinking, right, how original will the game really be? How much original content will be in the game? I think if anything, the next Black Ops game in 2024 will feel like an actual new Call of Duty, and then we'll probably get a MW3 type scenario in 2025, which is an extra Black Ops game that comes out that builds upon what comes out in 2024. That's likely their new plan moving forward with the yearly cycle. But I think now, if anything, there's a big safety net with all the cosmetics you choose to buy if you choose to do it. I mean, hell yeah, now we're going to be able to play as Homelander in what's apparently apparently going to be Outbreak 2.0 for MW3. That's awesome, but you know, instead of being worried that after 3 years all your bundles get wiped and reset, and it doesn't really happen that way, but in terms of Warzone it may happen since it's a live service game. They'll come out with the Warzone 3, and then all your bundles you bought in Warzone 2 are only usable in those respective games, MW2, MW3, Black Ops 2024. Instead of worrying about that, now you now have a safety net where you have a game that comes out and then a year later a bit of an expansion to that game in the form of a new COD title, but it's like that tick and tock system. And then with that, we have Warzone Mobile allowing you to also bring in all your cosmetics that you earned or bought from the main game, from Warzone 2.0, and you can use all that on mobile. So even if one day there is a moment when they phase out the bundles again, where they say, all right, we're going to do a bit of a reset and do a Warzone 3, you'll still be able to use a lot of those cosmetics in multiple Call of Duty multiplayers on top of whatever Warzone 2 map gets left behind. If one does get left behind at all, they could do a Warzone Caldera and just shut everything down. And then you also have Warzone Mobile to play, in which you can bring in all that content that you may have bought or used over 2-3+ years. Shall I also remind you that this completely changes how mastery camo grinds are going to work now, because if you grind a mastery camo on a certain year and you get reassurance that that mastery camo could be used on all future weapons for the next 2 years instead of just one, that provides a lot more value to the mastery camo grind. People out there, like myself included, who might have said in recent years, oh, I'm not going to really play this game that much longer after the cycle's over. I'm really excited for the new COD. I'm not going to really go for the mastery camo in this game because there's not really a point. They might be like, hey, let me reconsider that now and go for Orion or Polyatomic or the Dark Matter or whatever the camo is, because I'll be able to use it in not just this game's multiplayer, but even the next one, which builds upon the game that I'm playing right now. And I think Warzone, like I said earlier, kind of already eased their way into this to an extent, because if you want to play Verdansk and use Dark Matter on a Black Ops weapon, you were able to do that, providing more value to the Mastery Camo from Cold War. But I think this is taking it to a whole other level, which is really, really exciting for Mastery Camo grinders out there. My question is, will it be every single weapon and bundle that you may have MW2? Does that all transfer over to MW3? Because if that's the case, how many new weapons are we actually going to see in this new Call of Duty game? Now, I talked about the list of currently known weapons thus far for MW3. I talked about that in a video earlier today, and it's a decent list, but is that actually going to be the final list then, considering potentially every single weapon from MW2 is going to be in the new game? And if that is the case, then I think that's fine, but it's going to lead to some controversy of how we're going to be paying essentially $70 for what was originally apparently a DLC expansion to MW2, and now it's its own full-fledged Call of Duty title. So I'll leave that for you guys in the comments. Is it a good idea to transfer over everything for MW2 or just some of the things over? Should it be everything to where it's like, all right, it's everything plus then all the new weapons that come out during that game cycle, or should it just be some of the content so that it leaves room for a lot of original weapons and packs and whatnot that are exclusive to the game that come out right away during Season 1? How do you guys feel about that? Let me know down below in the comments. But a new rumor has also surfaced in regards to Warzone Mobile's release window. Apparently it's now November 10th, the same day that Modern Warfare 3 comes out. I hope this isn't the case, but while on the topic of content transferring over, I think it's cool that they're going to want to go ahead and kind of launch this game alongside MW3, or at least somewhat close to that game. It makes sense considering the whole cross progression they've already marketed for Warzone Mobile. It just seems like the game got prematurely revealed when it was kind of brought to our attention that the game was really heavily integrated with MW2, Warzone 2, but MW2's life cycle is almost over and Warzone Mobile still hasn't come out yet, at least not globally. So has us all scratching our heads as to whether or not the direction of the game may have changed, to where they're like, all right, we need to delay the game a little bit to add more, add a little multiplayer, add even more content to the Warzone Mobile experience so that it can kind of phase out COD Mobile eventually. Because as I covered over on Detonated, Microsoft themselves did say that Warzone Mobile would eventually phase out COD Mobile. I know COD Mobile put out a statement saying that that wasn't going to be the case, but now that Microsoft is taking over, they have free reign to change whatever they want. They want to get into the mobile market and dominate that aspect of the gaming industry. That might be the way they actually do it, right? To kind of phase out any projects that were outsourced to Tencent or other areas of the industry, you know, especially for the Chinese market. Let's bring all that home, do it in-house, and go from there. That's more profits for them. That might be what's going on here. So they had to push Warzone Mobile's release back to kind of better fit that agenda. And with it releasing close to MW3, it'll be crazy to be covering all that at once here on the channel, which is my plan as of right now, because Warzone Mobile being directly integrated makes it a lot easier to kind of cover everything going on with that game. Unlike COD Mobile, which is definitely its own beast, that goes in a completely different direction from what the mainline Call of Duty series does. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on our major bombshell coming in from Call of Duty themselves about content transferring over from MW2 into MW3? What are your thoughts on the implications of what this means moving forward, plus everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.